No.
Sometimes you say some very mean, disparaging things that makes me wonder about your soul.
I have no empathy. I'm sorry. That's what the military taught me. The empathy is gone. Sorry. My fucks to give. Sorry for swearing, folks, but my fucks to give
I
have been long gone. That Easter
my
basket
take
is empty and always will be empty.
my take on that. He not only won that game, but I don't have to look it up to know that Vince Young probably has pretty spectacular stats at Texas.
Yes, he was a good player, but he's an idiot.
Great college player. I'm not talking about like
He
NFL.
was a
We're talking
damn good college football player and had one of the best wins in college football history, but he can't write his name on a fucking test exam.
Can I just say,
that's
you listing
enough
off
with
those
these.
names makes me feel just old. I haven't felt
Yeah,
straight
right?
up old in a while.
You watch these guys go through college and the NFL.
Wow.
Okay, that's enough of that talk. You guys are.
And
Shut
finally,
up.
wrapping up the tight end waiver wire wouldn't be complete without mentioning O.J. Howard at Detroit and Ian Thomas, guys, who had himself 57 yards on 5 catches and a touchdown at Seattle this week. Seattle has been pretty weak against the tight end all season long. Ian Thomas is a guy out of Indiana who I thought would have a spectacular season last year with Greg Olsen out with injury, with how much Cam Newton has been known to target the tight end position. I thought that last season, much like Jonnu Smith in Tennessee, I thought for sure those guys were going to have sort of a coming out party. Didn't happen, didn't come to fruition. But this week, if you're hurting a tight end, Ian Thomas is a guy. Ian Thomas is a guy worth picking up. Yes, sir.
Cole Beasley at Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh's secondary has been playing well the last couple of weeks, but Cole Beasley, last 3 weeks, 16.6, 21, 12.9. He's been finding the end zone. He's been getting the catches and the targets. He's all over the field. It's not like he's stuck in one spot on that offense.
I have a relevant question for our league, Dillon.
Hit me with it.
Hit me with your best shot.
I need a waiver wire pickup, playable guy for this week. Not necessarily I have to play him, but just based on my matchups, depending on what comes up. Because I had both Rashad Penny, who went to IR, and now Marvin Jones, who went to IR. So I need a replacement back and receiver for this week, so that I have options. I like options even if it's last minute. If I have a gut feeling, I need my options.
A goop feeling?
Dave, I feel like Jay wasn't listening that whole time.
I know. We just named
I had to go. Okay, seriously, I have some issues here at the house with the old lady, all right, and she needs help, and so I had to go help her get to bed and check on the dogs and certain things.
Did they give her a crutch?
No.
That's fair. You know what?
They have to wait. She didn't break her kneecaps, but they're concerned that the way she fell, that she could have compressed it to the point where she has ligament damage, but she's got swelling from the kneecaps being bruised, so they can't do anything for a couple of days till swelling goes down. She's not supposed to move. So, and it's both of her knees. Okay, so. Although I try,
this is good.
I have to all honesty here, Dave. I have a really hard time being the nurse, okay? Because there's not that for the injury thing. There's not the empathy. I went through injuries. I got busted
because not everyone went through what you went through.
Okay, but here's the thing. My wife is always giving me a hard time that I'm a drama queen, over dramatic, and I'm not as hurt as I am. And then when I, go and actually have to be forced to go in and get checked out, we find out that I'm 10 times more screwed up than even I thought I was. And there's never an apology, and there's never any heal time. And yet, so I have a hard time.
You're looking for an apology from her, even though she's hurt.
No, I want to help her, but when she's overly needy to me, I get a little upset because it's geez, I can't do this is. Look, I'm telling you,
she wants to be needy. She's a woman. She needy.
I can't help it. It's hard for me. Okay. It's hard.
So, Dillon, do we just rewind those last 20 minutes about wide receivers?
Yeah, we can do I think the fans wouldn't mind a recap. Running back, Jay, I brought up if Josh Jacobs misses another week, Dwayne Washington at Jacksonville for Oakland is a good play. Adrian Peterson with Darius Geis out, taking on the Eagles at home. Obviously, the Eagles, good rush defense, but he's going to have that backfield. So you've got Adrian Peterson for the Redskins at home, and then Patrick Laird, not Layard, at New York Giants for the Miami Dolphins is a dirty option, but maybe you dust that dirt off the diamond, see what you get with Patrick Laird. So there you go, Dwayne Washington, Adrian Peterson,
Westbrook.
Patrick Laird at running back.
Something about D.D. Westbrook?
You did, and wide receiver, I do like D.D. versus Oakland, A.J. Brown as well, even though D has him in our league, so that doesn't help you. You got Darius Slayton versus Miami, Zach Pasco at New Orleans, Brashad Perryman at Detroit for Tampa Bay, and then you've got the Dolphins receivers at the Giants. Yes, D.
What about Mr. Amendola with Marvin Jones to the IR?
Yeah, you could go there, but I mean, do you want to trust David Blau if you're not Kenny Galladay?
The Lions are facing the 32nd worst ranked pass defense.
Look, I get it. And I get that, Galladay and Jones have been coming through, but Amendola is not them. I think Amendola is very dependent on Stafford's ability to completely spread the field.
Fine, you know what?
Even though, I mean, that might be counterintuitive because you're not spreading the field by passing to the slot receiver. But I'm just saying, as far as looking through your progression, I think Amendola needs Stafford.
Jay?
What?
I feel like there's a guy in the Packers, even though they're facing Chicago, I feel like would be a good pickup. Mr. Lazard.
I already got him.
You got to claim in? Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah. So then what are you asking for?
Because I was looking,
hey,
I was looking for another, because I want options, so I'm looking for another wide receiver or, Lazard, I got him for two reasons, because he's also a handcuff for me.
Deontay Johnson, who's been having a past couple really good weeks for Steelers. Yeah, they're playing Buffalo, but the Ravens are putting up points with Lamar Jackson even last week against that Buffalo defense.
Deontay Johnson? I don't even see him on here.
I'm staring at him right now, projected 6.4 points. Deontay Johnson just went off last week in Arizona.
You guys cool with jumping into start sits?
Yeah.
That is no problem. I was trying to assist Jay with finding his.
Is he a running back?
Right.
You realize you just could go up to the top bar and just type in Johnson, right? In the whole search bar, and it just eliminates every other player named not Johnson.
Your start sits going into week 15, week 2 of the fantasy playoffs, the semifinals, guys. At quarterback, I love Jameis Winston getting it done at the Detroit Lions this week. I know he doesn't have Mike Evans, but he's still ever dangerous as long as he's putting the ball up in the air. As much as he is in Bruce Arians' system, Jameis Winston's going to be very fantasy relevant.
Going to steal some crab legs from Detroit, folks. Watch out.
He can throw 3 picks and still win you a week. Deshaun Watson at Tennessee. Love it. Love his connection with DeAndre Hopkins.
Really?
Love his ability. Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like Tennessee's got an underrated secondary.
It may be, man, but the connection between Watson and Hopkins is not underrated. And
yeah, I should probably be quiet on that because I got Hopkins.
Even if they're rallying from behind, he's going to get it done in garbage time. So I love Watson. And then finally, Pat Mahomes versus Denver. I know Denver had themselves quite the week last week, and it was an awesome performance on their part. But now you've got Mahomes at home, healthy Arsenal again, and he's getting more healthy each and every week as he comes off this kneecap. Finally passed for over 200 yards and had 2 touchdowns since his injury. So I love Pat Mahomes versus Denver. Obviously, some honorable mentions. I mean, we got to bring up Tannehill versus Houston, and then Breeze versus Indy. And finally, I don't necessarily think he's going to light up the night, But if you really are hurting at quarterback and Carson Wentz is out there because of all the weapons that we've lost, I mean, they are playing Washington. So might be able to pick up Wentz and get yourself a sneaky win.
They could very well lose that game. That's a division game, common opponent, and let's be real. They played the Vikings tough. They played the Packers tough. Dwayne Haskins showed he's one tough SOB. Like you can't be I'm not saying they will lose, Dillon. I'm just saying you cannot no longer. I don't think you can any longer be overconfident with the Redskins because Callahan. I think Dave brought this point up. Callahan does have that team at least fighting to the death all the way to the end.
They're scrappy.
And so if you don't come in and you want to slip up, they are not that team that's going to lay down and allow you to slip up and still beat them. So, I'm just saying, like I was overconfident going into that game and watching that game. It's like. And then, like Dave said, then you go back and you start watching them in the last few weeks since Callahan's been there. They've been playing everybody like that. I know they're not winning, but dude, like, you definitely they're taking advantage because they're staying close. Because when people slip up, they're taking advantage of it, man. So you best be on your A game and be ready, or these guys are a trap game for every team they're playing right now under Callahan. Really are.
Dillon, can I ask you something? Who would you take in a matchup versus Darby versus Terry McLaurin?
Don't ask me these things.
All right, hey, stardom. I'm mad you didn't say someone again.
Who?
Who do you think I'm going to mention? Ryan Tannehill.
I brought up Tannehill.
In waiver wire pickups. I'm talking about stardom.
I just did. I said honorable mention. You guys don't listen. Moving into running backs, you're never going to sit CMC. Even when he has a crappy day on the ground, he still gets 11 catches. They play Seattle this week at home, so CMC is a must-start.
Dillon literally sent me a Jim Carrey gif online of Twitter last week because of how good CMC was in the receiving game.
Aaron Jones, guys, after the big week he just had versus the Redskins, now they take on Chicago. D, you brought it up earlier. No Trevathan. No Roquan Smith.
Nope.
So I look for Aaron Jones to have quite a big day.
Nick Witkowski is horrible in coverage, folks.
And then finally, I'll bring up the D train, Derrick Henry, at home against Houston. He's going to get plenty of carries. 4 straight games with 100-plus yards.
Woo!
Like I said, 26 and 18 carries the past 3 weeks. So Derrick Henry going to get it done. Plug and play.
Do you know what's kind of neat, honestly, about Derrick Henry, guys? He's one of these guys where a lot of times with running backs, you're like, yeah, he's having his good seasons, but, with all running backs, that big injury is going to come change his career. He had that, like, before he broke out. Like, he had the Achilles, he's had the knee, he's had, he, like, through the end of college and the first couple of years of his career. So it's like he got through that and, like, like Dave and I were talking about, dude is fat. Like, he's fast. Like, I didn't think he was that fast in college because
those long strides, man.
You kind of think in your mind, no, because you think in your mind, yeah, but everybody looks fast in college. Dude is straight up fast. And there's I think there's people out there that purposely allow themselves to get blocked by offensive linemen like DBs and stuff because they'd rather get blocked on the play than get blown up by him coming down because they're not stopping him. He is like, he's a special back. Like,
he was a state champion track and field star.
That we have a keeper league in this league and that he gets to keep him because he's going to be probably the number one guy for the next 3 years. Like I said, because normally you project injuries. He's already had that. His body's come back through that. Usually when you have a lot of these, most guys that take care of themselves, it's kind of a genetic thing, and then usually if they can get past that and it doesn't devastate them like hasn't with him, you usually see them have continued on career. Like Frank Gore is a great example, Everybody thought he was going to be done with all his, and he's still, let's be real. He's just still, when he wants to get you 3-4 yards, he's getting it. Like, if he really wants it, so he's a great comp to just the injury way and where you can project Henry's career going forward. It would be Frank Gore.
No, I do like that
with a
comparison.
hell of a lot more speed and size. Let's be clear, like.
Yeah, there was a time now. Wide receiver starts. You can't go wrong with Michael Thomas. He's at home versus